What's going on, good people? I was in my feelings a little bit this morning, and after having some conversations with some people, just really trying to implore them to be aligning with the heart of God for all people, including those who have been hurt and on the wrong side of injustice for so many years. And so I was getting all of my feelings and feeling a certain kind of way about just not just the state of the world, but I even think just the state of the church and the heart of people. And then I was going to Dunkin' Donuts this morning. I decided I was going to be bad. And I don't usually go get like coffee or something like that on my way to work or something like that. But I decided to this morning because I just wanted to get out of the house earlier than usual. And in line at Dunkin' Donuts, because I decided, if I'm going to be bad, man, let me get that donut too. And didn't really think much of it, but there's a big black SUV in front of me that's got kind of like the tinted windows a little bit. It looked, if I was, just kind of guessing, it looked like a vehicle that might be like an FBI agent or something like that. So the first thought that popped into my head, it had one of those side mirror dealy things. So the first thought that popped into my head is, oh, this is probably a law enforcement here in my head. And here's what we got to recognize in reality here is that we all do a thing of prejudging, right? And you can pretend that you don't, but you're human, so your brain works in such a way that when you look at a thing, you engage with an experience. When you interact with a human, you are operating with them based on your prior knowledge. And so being like, say I'm in a vehicle right now and there's a car in front of me. When the red lights on the back of that car light up, my brain is telling me those lights indicate the car is slowing. It's braking. So I should slow as well. That is just my brain working and operating based on my prior knowledge of those lights. So if I start to see more and more cars that have those lights that come on and they're not actually slowing, now my brain is recalibrating and thinking, maybe that no longer means what I think it means. So my brain decided to prejudge that car was braking when I saw those lights. And that's perfectly fine. That is a human built-in mechanism that actually is called learning. But what the problem is, when we apply that to humans and allow our prior knowledge, what we think is prior knowledge, about people that look like that person to determine how we emotionally and even just like interactionally engage with that person, that now we have taken the image of God and we've turned it into just an objectionable thing that no longer has the baked in beauty and intricacy and just a diverse and unique nature in each human. And now it's just become a program that we interact with based on what we know about a thing that looks like that. So that's a big philosophical, theological backdrop to say, when I saw this vehicle, my first thought was law enforcement. So then I was looking at the person behind the wheel, and I saw a bald white guy with glasses. So then now my thought was like, this is reinforcing kind of like my mental stereotype for law enforcement. And then I started having many of the emotional triggers that I have regarding law enforcement. In this situation, I'm in line at Dunkin' Donuts. So it's not like I'm now like fearing for my life or anything like that. But there's a for me and many in the black community, there's not a like yay law enforcement. There's a uh-oh, or a bit of a hesitation, or a we've got bad history, and let's just all be honest. And if you don't believe this, you're not checking history. There's a bad history between the black community and law enforcement. So in that moment, I just like kind of had that thought, and I just went on with my, ordering of my Dunkin' Donuts. Almost said Starbucks. And I get up. What actually is funny is I hear the voice at the line, and I know it's a guy that I've met at a church before. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait to say hi to this guy, bless him with just the joy of the Lord today. And I get up to the counter. It's not actually him at the counter. I never see this guy. And it's a woman who, as I'm trying to hand her my credit card, she says, "The man in front of you paid for it." And it was like, oh, man, in that moment, I was overwhelmed with A, the sinfulness of my own heart, and B, rejoicing in the reality. Now, this doesn't solve the history between black community and law enforcement, but this was just another reality that in the same way that I am crying out for law enforcement to engage with black people on a give me a chance to be an individual basis, and not on the history that you see when you think of people like me, or not on the history that you've been wrongfully taught related to people like me, but me being me. And I wasn't doing that in my heart, and the Lord reminded me that you are a fallen creature yourself, that in your fight for justice, don't forget your real fight is to be just. And in my heart, I was not just. And then to cap that off, as I'm going through all of this emotion of that moment, I get the coffee and the donut, and I drive off, celebrating and oh man, that was awesome. And then it struck me, dude, why didn't you pay for the people behind you? I was so focused on that engagement that I forgot that God just blessed me. Why don't I bless others? I always end my videos with be blessed and be a blessing. And I forgot to be a blessing as I was being blessed. So I'll end this little rant with, here's the reality. If God can't get blessing through you, why would he keep getting blessing to you? So be blessed and be a blessing, y'all. All right, love y'all.